What's up, everybody? Have you ever been disappointed? Like maybe there's an update for an app that just sucks after it's been updated. Well, you're in luck
Like
because
every app.
today's episode, we're going to talk about how to deal with disappointment. This is the Existential Stoic podcast. I'm Randy. That's Danny. What's going on, Danny?
What's up, Randy?
This is very appropriate because we were just ranting before this episode started about how we're both disappointed with apps and their updates.
Yeah. Well, it's like, well, we've talked about it so many times, but like they just have this like knee-jerk need to keep adding stuff, like as if the features match. Like, because sometimes, like, apps work and they're good and they're great. Don't add to it. Don't make it worse. But they just make it worse because they're trying to like, I don't know, amplify the use cases, I guess. But it's just the
Yeah,
usability
clear-cut
sucks.
example is Evernote. It was
Oh
a
God.
great app, and
Yeah.
then they just kept adding more and more and more and more and more, and then people just started dropping off. And who even uses that anymore?
I don't even hear it anymore talked about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
It was a big deal when that came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
So
was.
I know. So in that vein, we're going to talk about how to deal with disappointments. Now, it's not only disappointments with apps. There's also disappointments with other things in life. People, they have plenty of disappointments, life situations, not
Yeah.
getting what you want, getting what you want, and it's not as great as you thought it would be. I experience that on a regular
Yeah.
basis. And then, yeah, so we're going to talk about all of that and then give three quick fixes for how to fix it. All
All
right.
right.
So I will start for how to deal with disappointment. My first one comes from a motivational video, and it's say good. Okay. So, like, the app doesn't work the way it should. Good. Now you can find a better app. Your girlfriend broke up with you. Good. Now you can find a better partner or something like that, where you basically find the good in it. Like, even though it's not what you wanted, your dream vacation was terrible. Good. Now you can kind of maybe not look forward to things so much and have your heart broken the next time. So, but finding the good in
Yeah.
things allows you to better deal with what life hands you, because life's going to hand you whatever it hands you, and then it's up to you how to interpret it and what to make from it.
Well, we make everything meaningful, right? And I think that's like that's probably like one of the most core things for dealing with disappointment is your perspective and your interpretation, right? You have the power to make it mean whatever it means, and so you gotta like think that through because if you're gonna make it shitty, it's gonna be shitty. Like, if you're gonna be negative about it, it's gonna be negative. But you can look for the positive. There's always ways. And I like what you said too. Your examples are good. Like everybody's had that where they go on vacation and like it rains all week. And it's like, well, now you have to maybe find other things to do there that you wouldn't have normally ever experienced because normally you're there and it's sunny and you do other things, like that kind of stuff. Just gotta
Dude,
look for the
I had
positive.
this bucket list item that I was looking forward to for years, and then I finally did it, and it broke my heart how bad it was. Like, it didn't
Was that
live
the
up to
recent thing?
expectations. Yeah.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah. So, like, anyways,
Yeah.
but it can happen. Like, sometimes you just in your mind is going to be perfect, and then it's not, and you got to deal with that disappointment.
Yeah, our imagination's funny, isn't it? Because like
Mhm.
we have these ideas of things that are just so perfect, and it's the world's not like that. Yeah, there's always
Mhm.
gonna be people. So my first one, and I think this goes nicely with yours, is just face it too. Like I think this is important. Like I've had so many points in my life where disappointment, like I carry it with me, and it just clouds my day, clouds my month, my year. And if you just face it and turn towards it and recognize it, point it out, acknowledge it, it's a good step towards moving beyond it, I think. Whether it's like disappointing experience, emotions, whatever, like you can start to look for the positive once you actually realize and face the disappointment.
That is a good one. Turn around, name the dragon, and it disappears. That's
Yeah.
what they say. Yeah. So my next one is define why this disappoints you. So this is an interesting thing because the same thing can happen to two people, and one person will be devastated, disappointed. The other person will be like, who cares?
Yeah.
So this is an interesting exercise because when you define why it disappoints you, you actually find out a lot more about yourself, like your values, your expectations, what things should mean to you. And it's quite an exercise because then you can say, like, well, maybe that's not true, but I can now see how things like this in the future might irritate me. So maybe I can be prepared for that.
Yeah, it's a good thing too with your expectations. I think you mentioned, that's a really good one too to keep them like recognize where they are. Like, are my expectations just way too high? Am I like forgetting that this is reality and stuff's gonna happen? Like, I mean, really think about it, like, how
Am I not emperor of Earth?
Yeah, things don't always go my way. Like, everybody, traveling, like everybody gets, stressed about it because like, people expect to go, it's a plane. It's gonna be tight. It's gonna be cramped. Just expect that. And then it's gonna be fine. Then you can deal with it. There's gonna be other people you can't control. It is what it is.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
like that one. That's a good one. That goes nice with my next one, which is actually recognize what's in your control. This I was thinking about like the Stoics idea of, economy control. And particularly, I remember when we had Massimo on, he had mentioned too, like
Mhm.
writing down, which I think was a good idea. Like write down, like if you're really disappointed, write down, okay, so I am disappointed. What can I do here? What's actually within my power? Make a list. What's not in my power? Make a list. See clearly that I can't control these things. I can't make other people shut up. I can't, make the plane different, whatever it is, but what can I do? I could read a book. I can calm down. I can breathe. I can meditate. I can get up, walk around, whatever. I can do a lot of things. So look at what's in my power, and then you're taking action instead of just being a victim. I think that helps a lot.
Yeah, that's a great one. Always finding what you can do and doing it. It's like that story about the guy who wanted to, like drape the earth in leather instead of just putting a pair of sandals on his feet because the earth hurt, the roads hurt. I don't know.
The hell
Terrible
story are
story.
you talking about?
Anyways, on to the third one.
That's a lot of animals you'd have to murder to drape the earth in leather.
Yeah. Well, it's like you can either change everything else or you can just
Yeah,
put
yeah,
shoes on your feet. Yeah.
yeah. Change your
So,
situation. I gotcha. Okay.
anyways, my last one how to deal with disappointment is talk with a good friend or a trusted party or somebody who you can talk this out with. Like just dwelling upon it in your head is not going to help. Fuming about it, not going to help. Going over it over and over and over again in your head, trying to change the past, not going to help. But oftentimes talking with someone, particularly a good friend, trusted partner, someone you can talk with, is great for a couple reasons. One, because it gets it out of your system. But two, oftentimes they'll give you a little bit of validation, which just feels so gosh darn good. They'll be like, yeah, that is disappointing. Geez, I would feel the same way if I was in your shoes. That's got to be tough. What are you going through? And them just
Yeah.
saying that, it like opens up the world for you.
It's literally all we need most of the time is just
Mm-hmm.
validation. And dude, to
Mm-hmm.
be honest, like, yeah, like, I mean, I still think like, us doing this, meeting every week, having a schedule to meet every week and talk, like, was the best thing we ever did. Both for our friendship,
Mm-hmm.
but just in general too, for our mental health and everything. Like, it is one of the best, most positive things, and I think more people should do it. We get so caught up in like we think we're hanging out with people, but we're on our phones, or we're distracted, or we're stressed about other stuff in the day and all, and we're not really present. And like, if you can be present with somebody for even like half an hour, it makes such a huge difference. You feel like you're
Mm-hmm.
part of the world. It's a good one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
My last one is just let it go too. Stuff happens. Sometimes this I've been working on myself a lot actually recently because like when I have bad days, I tend to like hyper focus on it and then it ruins everything. And I've been trying to tell myself like everybody has bad days. It's all right. You know, things don't always work out. Sometimes it rains, whatever. It's all right. There's gonna be another one. Instead of thinking like today's it, I have to do all this, trying to like kind of just let it go. And it takes practice, but it works a lot and it helps. And it does make disappointment a lot easier to deal with. Who cares? You can do something else, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. It's easier said than done a lot of times.
Yes. Yes, it is very
But
much easier said than done.
it would be nice if it was just like a little switch you could flick, but most of the time it requires a little bit to kind of let go. But you can kind of think like, well, maybe I can just let go 1% right now. Okay,
You
I
know
can
what's
do
funny
that.
about that? Oh, real quick
Mm.
about the switch thing.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I went to do hypnosis, he mentioned like pretending like you have a switch in your head, for
Uh-huh.
being the hypnotized state. And I
Uh-huh.
try to use that for this purpose actually, and it does work. It takes a lot of practice, but like just being like, it's okay, like an okay
Uh-huh.
switch.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, kind of works. Take a little
Actually,
practice, takes work, but it works. Yeah,
yeah, that's a brilliant idea. Having a little okay switch in the back of your head, being like, hey, it's okay.
calm
Cool.
down. Yeah,
All right. Well, there you go. A few helpful hints for how to deal with disappointment because, we all have to deal with some disappointments every now and again or every single day, however often they crop up.
constantly.
But yeah, if you did enjoy that episode, make sure to like, share, subscribe. Check us out on YouTube, wherever you get your podcast. Also, I'm not sure if you know this, but leaving reviews is like digital gold for podcasts and
Yeah,
such like that. So if you could leave a review, possibly a good one on on one of those
Ideally.
podcasting services. Yeah, that would help us out greatly. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure to check us out next time. This is the Existential Stoic Podcast. I'm Randy. That's Danny. I'll see you later, Danny.
Later, Randy.